This was the front page of the Drudge Report today. Trump letting it go bald. Will he go all the way? I just think Drudge really knows how to get under Donald Trump's skin, and good, because Donald Trump is causing so much harm and devastation to our country. For example, yesterday, the Trump regime announced that Health and Human Services would be cutting 10,000 jobs in a major restructuring. So HHS is run by RFK Jr., someone who's an anti-vaxxer, someone who wants to make sure there's no studies of infectious diseases for multiple years. And now they are cutting 10,000 jobs because they don't give a crap about our health. Also, it was of course announced that Donald Trump would be putting those 25% tariffs on auto, and Donald Trump's continued attempts at applying these tariffs across the board in other areas, and his attacks on Canada, his attacks on other countries. Now we're seeing headlines like this from Bloomberg. Trump tariffs on Canada lumber risk pinching toilet paper supply, as Carl Quintanilla from CNBC says. So now we're in the phase of the trade war where we need to worry about toilet paper. And again, as I've said before, the people of Canada don't necessarily even view this as a trade war. They view it as Donald Trump actually declaring war on Canada. Because when Donald Trump threatens annexation and conquest, that he wants to seize their land and take it, it's even more than a trade war. So yes, remember back in the first Trump administration where we couldn't find toilet paper? Well, not only are we heading into a deep recession and potentially a Great Depression under Donald Trump's mishandling of every single thing, but it's also going to be one that doesn't involve toilet paper yet again. Who could have predicted this? Who could have said that this was going to happen? Again, everybody that remembers what happened during the first Trump administration and can actually just tell you what this idiot was saying on his campaign and what he did his whole life, which is bankrupt everything. So yesterday, Donald Trump also held this event where he said, every day we're keeping our promise to the Muslims. We're making sure we deliver for the Muslims. Play this clip.
Tremendous time, both great countries, and enjoy it. Every day we're keeping our promises to the Muslim community. My administration is engaged in relentless diplomacy to forge a lasting peace in the Middle East, building on the historic Abraham Accords, which
was this part of your promise to the Muslims, Donald? Posting AI images of you and Benjamin Netanyahu as you talk about engaging in genocide in Palestine and eradicating it from the map, and saying that Palestinians should be living in other countries. Remember when you would say that over and over again during the first 2-3 months in office, and you posted AI images like that? Oh yeah. And then you also posted AI images of your big golden statues in Gaza, that you were going to develop your casinos and hotels in Gaza. You also had bearded belly dancers with cleavage in these photos these videos that you would make. And then you wrote, to the people of Gaza, a beautiful future awaits, but not if you hold hostages. If you do, you are dead. And then it says, make a smart decision. And that seemed to be directed at the people and not Hamas, in that statement. And you continue to say that people in Gaza need to leave immediately, and you want to make Trump Gaza. What we are hearing about as well, it's despicable. What we're hearing about as well from voters, we've done a lot of videos on this. I'll highlight this one though as well. This one's from CNN, where a Trump voter talks about their regrets that they have after this is a MAGA junkie, ultra MAGA person who regrets the vote, as all of these services have been cut in West Virginia, and her life is like destroyed right now. Play this clip.
He's a good boy.
Pigott was abruptly fired last month from the Treasury Department's Bureau of Fiscal Service, based here in Parkersburg, West Virginia. The reason given for the firings of 125 probationary employees at the Bureau? Poor performance.
I had my last review on the 31st of January, and I had the highest rating that you can get on a review, less than 21 days before I was terminated for my performance.
You voted for Donald Trump.
I did.
Do you regret that vote?
Yes, I do. To cut the knees out of the working class Americans just doesn't make sense to me. I expected more from President Donald Trump.
Since speaking out, Piggott says she's received death threats and her home has been egged. This woman asked us not to show her face for fear of retribution. She recently retired from the Bureau of Fiscal Service because she was afraid of losing her health insurance if she was fired. She also voted for Trump. Would you still have supported him?
I'm not sure that I would have. The way that it's been done, I'm for balancing the budget, that type of thing, but not in this context. It's just not right.
And Trump and Doge and Musk are destroying the lives of all Americans and destroying the lives of lots of people throughout the world. Trump's new auto tariffs will likely drive up car prices by thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars, perhaps, which just means people aren't going to buy automobiles. And then it was also reported as well that Trump threatened U.S. automakers not to raise their prices in response to the tariffs. And this threat came a little bit earlier this month, and the car manufacturers feared that they would be retaliated against if they had to respond to the market forces unleashed by Donald Trump's stupid tariffs. And they all said, the math would tell you that's going to cost us multi-billion dollars. So who is going to pay for that? Donald Trump literally crashing industries. Remember the headlines that we used to read from, not just like from the Wall Street Journal when former President Biden was in office, from Bloomberg, from like business papers, business media. And they would say, manufacturing boom, USA's GDP hitting record growth, beating China, energy independent, 16.2 million jobs created. Remember those headlines? Another quarter that exceeds expectations. Now we're expected to have economic contraction this quarter and head into a recession, if not a great recession or a depression. So American people are pissed. We covered this week the massive political earthquake that we saw in Pennsylvania, where a Democrat won in Lancaster County the Senate seat for the 36th Senate District, state Senate district in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Hadn't happened in Lancaster since 1889. And then Donald Trump's own pollster, Fabrizio, says that the Democratic candidate in Florida's 6th congressional district for the United States House of Representatives, that this Democrat, Josh Weil, is beating this guy, Randy Fine, the MAGA Republican Trump Doge candidate, in a plus 30 Trump district. So Trump panics. I'm going to do a whole other video about his panic. He withdraws the nomination of Elise Stefanik. She's a New York congresswoman, and Trump appointed her as the ambassador to the United Nations. She's in a plus 21 Trump district, but the Trump regime is fearful that they were going to lose Florida's 6th and also lose Stefanik's seat and then lose the House of Representatives. And Trump said this in a panic post. I'll do a whole other video on it, but he's like, yeah, we're worried about losing the House of Representatives. And so I withdrew the nomination of Elise Stefanik. Hakeem Jeffries writes, Donald Trump won Elise Stefanik's district by 21 points in November 2024. He withdrew her nomination to be UN ambassador because the extremists are afraid they will lose the special election to replace her. The Republican agenda is extremely unpopular. They are crashing the economy in real time, and House Republicans are running scared. What happened to their so-called mandate? They are running scared. And they're posting things like this. This is not, I'm not making this up. This was actually a post from the White House account where they have an ICE agent holding a woman, and a South American woman, crying, Latino woman crying. And they say that this is depicting a fentanyl dealer is what they say this is a drawing of the fentanyl dealer, and they're printing cartoons and and posting, look, you want to arrest the fentanyl dealer. Everyone's okay. If there's people who are selling drugs, arrest them, especially if it's fentanyl, throw the book at them. They deserve this is America. There should be a process. And if indeed they're dealing fentanyl, the highest penalty imaginable, go for it. But what we're hearing over and over again, though, is that Trump is taking migrants who are here lawfully, lawful asylum seekers. I did a whole other video on this from Mother Jones. Mother Jones wrote a great article. And we're talking about people here lawfully. We're talking about non-gang members. I don't know. I mean, outside of that I'm not sure what that photo is supposed to, that cartoon's supposed to depict, but there are stories of all these people, hairstylists, soccer coaches, and people who were sent to concentration camps who are not gang members, who didn't have process at all. And by the way, then you had a Kristi Noem, the dog killer, Trump's Homeland Security Secretary. We posted this. I think we broke this news, how she was wearing a $60,000 Rolex standing in front of prisoners in El Salvador, which, by the way, is a violation of the Geneva Convention. Self-exhibiting herself with prisoners, using them as props, is a violation of the Geneva Convention. I'm going to do a whole other video after this. Watch my other video. It'll be on the same feed. Prime Minister Mark Carney, powerful statement. My video is also going to feature Charlie Angus after this one, so go on the feed and click it. But here, Prime Minister Carney calls out America, calls out the Trump regime. Play this clip.
I understand and respect his goal to support American workers, but I disagree with him that this is how to help them. With time, it will become apparent that these actions will end up hurting American workers and American consumers. I reject any attempts to weaken Canada, to wear us down, to break us so that America can own us. That will never happen. And our response to these latest tariffs is to fight, is to protect, and to build. We will fight the U.S. tariffs with retaliatory trade actions of our own that will have maximum impact in the United States and minimum impacts here in Canada.
And finally, it should be noted as well, what went down internationally too yesterday, the coalition of the willing, European countries, others supporting Ukraine, Canada, met in France. President Emmanuel Macron of France held this gathering, strong statement of support for Zelensky. And then yesterday also, it was announced. So today, Trump regime officials, Usha Vance, J.D. Vance, the leaker himself, Mike Walls, National Security Advisor, they were supposed to go to Greenland in this show of force to intimidate the Greenlanders. But just like we saw in Canada, the Greenlanders united. They wouldn't let Usha or JD into any of their homes. Nobody would let them use their homes as a prop for the PR stunt. And then they were going to do these huge protests in Greenland against the Trump regime. So the Trump regime pulled out and withdrew, So I think that's, shows you if you stand up to the Trump regime, they do back down. They do back down. We'll keep you posted every step of the way. A lot to cover, of course. That's what's going on today. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 5 million subscribers. Thanks for watching.
The truth is more important than ever. Check out our new Truth Over Lies collection at store.MeidasTouch.com. All 100% USA union made.